I've got two millennials right here, and they both have, one has an established ministry in New Orleans. This is Heather Burnam. She and her husband have a ministry called The Hub, right? In NOLA. NOLA is New Orleans. Did y'all know that? I did not know that. So when she said NOLA, I was thinking Lola. She has a shoulder. But NOLA is New Orleans. So she's also a makeup and hair artist. She's got a 6 or 7 chair salon, and she does weddings, and she has a ministry to the homeless and to the gutter punk kids. And she was just featured, was your business featured in Martha Stewart's magazine. Was it last month or 2 months ago? So Heather, come up. I'm going to give her 5 minutes. They don't have long because I've got a lot to say, but I want to introduce her. And she's a preacher's kid.
Yes, go preacher's kids. So yes, like Cindy said, I'm so thankful for her because I felt like the lone wolf out there in the trenches, and God brought her and Caleb, and we've really adopted Caleb. I think he pretty much lives in New Orleans now. But I am a preacher's kid. Now, I wasn't one of the preacher's kids who wanted to go off, rebel, and do drugs. I was just offended. And I saw some things, behind the scenes of ministry that offended me, and I didn't want anything to do with it. So, but I had this history. Like in our church, we'd have the happy hunters in, and we'd see people getting out of wheelchairs, and all these amazing things happen. And when you're the preacher's kid, every person that comes through wants to prophesy to you, right? So I got hundreds of prophetic words. God actually called me to preach at 16. I had an encounter. But because of my offense, I didn't want anything to do with it. So I bought into the lie. This is what I did, like the millennials. I was like, I'm just going to be normal. And the lie that I bought into was that I could have the fairy tale apart from him. And so I did. I tried. And I got pretty close. I have an amazing, doting husband, 3 beautiful boys, a successful business. But when you are marked by God, when you are marked by God to change the world, normal is not going to cut it. Out in the world, having all the things that, living the American dream is not going to cut it. So about 5 years ago, and I'm going to hurry because I know this is long. About 5 years ago, I started missing Jesus because what I had done is just kind of disconnected myself from church family and from God, just that relational thing. I was in a really dry place. I was still dealing with offense towards church people and ministry. And I started crying out to God. And I said, God, I know that I squandered the gift that you put inside of me. And I know I did nothing with it, and that is a sin. To do nothing when God gives you something is sin. So no, I wasn't a blatant sinner out, with a needle in my arm or partying and sleeping around, but I was trying to just be normal. Whew. And when I started crying out to God, and I said, God, I'm so sorry that I squandered your gift that you put on my life, and I didn't go after it. I didn't do anything with it. And I said, but if you could just let me in, I was kind of like the prodigal. I said, if I can just be back in your house, I will eat the crumbs from your table, but I have to be in your presence. I have to be back in the right standing with you. And I got a hold of an old Amy Semple McPherson book. I love how Lou Engle says, he says, some people get a burning bush and I got a burning book. And that's what happened to me. So I start reading her story. It was her personal memoirs and stuff. And it initiated a 30-day encounter with love himself. Every lie that I had believed just began to fall off my life. I began to have visions and dreams, and so overwhelming that at times I felt like I was going to die. I could barely even function. And all those prophetic words that those people would come in and be like, yeah, of course, I'm going to the nations, right? That's what they tell every preacher's kid, you know. Every prophetic word that was ever spoken over my life began to be downloaded like it was just happening. And I was so overwhelmed. I mean, I was a mess. But during that time, I fell in love. I fell in love so madly, deeply, crazy in love with Jesus. I love how Brian Simmons says, you know, the woman at the well, she was married to her 5 senses, and then she was with number 6 in the natural realm. And what he told her is, I want to be number 7, the number of completion and the number of perfection. And I met the perfect husband. And as I did, he filled me with such love. And I remember towards the end of that encounter, I'm just laying there and I'm weeping, and I felt like I died during that encounter. And I was like, my life is just an offering to you. What can I do for you? What would bring you pleasure? Because my life is no longer about me and bringing pleasure to myself and to my family, but it's for you. And he said, go to the least of these. I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew that I had found a man. So I did like the woman at the well, and I went back to my city and I said, I found him. I found the man. I found the one. And we just went. And God just moved in our yes. And we began, in the last 2 years, we have seen 42 people rescued off of the streets, transitioned, yes, into either rehab or reunited with family. We've seen cancer healed. We've seen mental illness healed. And it's all because I fell in love and I said yes. So I feel like somebody in here needs to hear this. You know, I always thought, God will take the talents that you have and he'll just breathe on them and accentuate them. Like if you sing, he'll just anoint you to sing, which is true. But God will give you gifts that you didn't even know you had. He'll give you abilities and talents that you didn't even know you had. I had no business. I had addicts. I'm a good church girl, and God sends me to the addicts and to the prostitutes. In the natural, there was absolutely no way for me to relate to them. Yet God gave me a grace and an ability to touch them. So he will do that with you. Don't put yourself in a box. You just say yes, and he's going to give you the grace to do what he called you to do.